Hello, 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 and a very good evening. I can see the microphone bouncing up and down, which means unlike last night in race number 5, I am, in fact, live. Welcome to the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. My name is David Christie, and for the next 3 hours we will be taking you through another night of qualifying heats. Tonight is a turn of Xbox One, and if last night on the PlayStation 4 is anything to go by, we are guaranteed an absolute treat tonight. We have got 13 cars out for qualifying just now. The cars are busy with 10 minutes to go in the session. A very, very difficult track we've got here at Ulton. We'll switch over to the live stream so you can watch the cars doing a little bit of qualifying, and when we return in about 5 minutes time, we'll take you through the runners and riders for our first qualifying race. It's a packed qualifying heat number 1 we have to get us underway for the Xbox One qualifiers. Here is who we are going to see tonight in heat number 1. Cormac Patterson is Agent Zigzag. We've got James Black is Black Jam 2. We've got, I think that's Callum Morrison, who is out there as Boss Lambo 77666, Cameron Morrison, excuse me. Dylan O'Donnell is Catchy Ferret 846. Dylan, I'm not even going to ask about that gamer tag. Peter Robertson is DJ Dadboss 1210, rocking the Technics love there. Christian Parry is Fred Parry. Jamie Lethway is Jamie 5324. Jamie Fraser is Jamie Donut 123. Jamie unfortunately can't join us. He's having, just like last week, he has some wireless connectivity issues. On that note, let's take a very, very quick detour because obviously we want to get as many of you guys and girls out onto track as possible. Where possible, guys, please, please, please use a direct connection. Use an Ethernet cable to your router. If you can't do that, if you're in another room, for example, have a look into some things called power line adapters. You can connect your router to that, plugs into the wall, and then any socket in your house can be used as a Ethernet adapter, so you get a full, I think it's like 100 megabyte connection. Really, really good for your gaming. There you go, pro tip there for you. So Jimmy Fraser not joining us tonight. John Higgins is out there as well as John Higgins. Liam Park, who did very, very well last week at Knockhill with the Formula Rookies, is Parky Lads 92. Peter Gladstone is Pedro 55. Raymond Davies is RAD M4. Ross Dunn is R Dunn 891769. Steve Sadler is Sad Bassa, and Craig Lindsay is Sleepy Night 800. Ooh, we got there eventually. So we've got 5.5 minutes left to go in qualifying. Then, as always, guys, get involved on the chat. We want to hear what you think, and we've got a couple of things actually we need to talk about because we're going to kill the music here. So, for those of you that were watching last night, we had a fantastic set of races from the PlayStation 4. We had race 5, which was a little bit below the standard that we expect here on the eSports and through SMRC. combined, it was difficult to watch because there was a lot of things happening that we were just not very comfortable with. So we sat down, we had a look through the replays on YouTube, and we got together, and we think we've given some fair penalties out. So it's just a warning for anyone that is taking part tonight or tomorrow night. We absolutely are all here for having a laugh. We are here for having a giggle, having a race together. A lot of people coming in for their first ever sim racing event, and we absolutely welcome you on board. However, what we don't want to see is incredibly aggressive manoeuvres repeated time and time again. We want you to be respectful of your fellow sim racers on the track, and basically treat it as you would, the same respect that you would as a real meeting. With that being said and done, it is Oulton Park, so all hell is going to break loose tonight, especially down at the chicane. So very much looking forward to that. The chicane down at Britain's, turns 7, 8 and 9 are going to be a hot spot, as well as at Hislop's as well, just before Knickerbrook. It's going to be a fun race that we've got in store for you. We've got race 1 coming up out of 5 different races tonight, so you are going to be spoiled for choice. And again, just about 75 cars we are going to have on track. Probably is going to be nearer 70 cars. But there we go. We are going to take a very quick break with just 3 minutes left to go, and when we return we will take you through the finishing qualifying order.
Right.
25 seconds remaining in the qualifying session here for qualifying Heat 1, the Xbox One in the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. So let's have a look at your Qualifiers then, we've got 13 cars as I said on track, and it is currently Cameron Morrison who is in pole position at the moment with 5 seconds left to go with a 149.139. Now that's already about a second off of the pace that we saw with the PS4 lot last night. In second place is John Higgins with a 150.7. We have in third place, that is going to be Liam Park from Agent Zigzag. That is Cormac Patterson in fourth place. Fifth place at the moment is Christian Parry going across the line just now. I don't know if he's going to improve his time. He doesn't, and he decides to go for a little bit of a scenic route across the finish line as well. Very nice. Right, one man who does move up the order there, Dylan O'Donnell. No stranger to the compact sports racing. We see him quite a lot in the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup at Knockhill. Finishes in 5th place for qualifying. 6th place then is Jamie 5324, that's Jamie Lethwaite. And then in 8th place is going to be Ryan Dunn. 9th place is Raymond Davies. 10th place is going to be Craig Lindsay. And then in 11th it is Steve Sadler with DJ Dadboss. That is of course Peter Robertson in 12th. And then at the back, now hang on a second, we'll scrub that a minute, because actually it was Black Lambo Cameron Morrison who didn't actually get a lap in there. I'm sorry, I was watching him while looking at your leader there, and that is actually James Black who is on pole position there. So it's James Black who has got a 149.1 and is almost a second and a half ahead of second place John Higgins. Right, so there we go. That is qualifying done and dusted. We've got a couple of cars just making their way round as well. Liam Park going to come across the line one final time here. Can he improve? He does not. I don't believe anyway. It certainly didn't update in time. There we go. There's your top three. Black Jam 2, James Black, Cameron Morrison is at the back, John Higgins, and then it's Liam Park. Let's go racing, boys and girls. Let's go racing. So here we are then. 13 cars take to the grid for qualifying heat 1 of the Xbox One. The lights come on. And away we go. And it's a stunning start from third place there. Both first and second absolutely caught out there. And, well, that is John Higgins managing to reclaim the place there. Try to go on the inside, and there's a huge move. Big contact with the leader. First, second and third have gone there. That was a very, very optimistic move, and that could be getting looked at from race control. John Higgins causing more contact there, and that is that's going to be Dylan O'Donnell that's taken out with him as well. Welcome to Oulton Park, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness me. Right, your race leader Jimmy Fraser is off, as David Addison would put it, off like a scalded cat or like a stabbed rat. I don't know where he comes up with those ones, but yeah, that's a fantastic lead already for Jimmy Lethwaite. As we see Ryan Dunn in second place, and then it is Christian Parry in third. Fourth place is going to be Craig Lindsay. And this field very much split up, as we see. Is that John Higgins going round again? Well, it's safe to say that John Higgins has really not had a very good opening lap here at Oulton Park, because he's going to get done here by, that is Raymond Davies, who's going to try and get past him as well. Steve Sadler, we can see fighting out, and oh my goodness me, that is Steve Sadler facing the wrong way. What has happened to Steve Sadler there? Well, it's difficult really to know where to look, because it's all going off everywhere. Cormac Patterson, excuse me, up to 6th place after going all the way down to 10th on that opening corner, and we've already completed our first lap. Jamie Lethwaite then through into turn number 1. He's making his way around Old Hall Corner just now. Then it's over to Denton's and then down into Cascades. I absolutely love going around Cascades in these little Clios because the back end just wants to swing out if you want to take a lot of corner speed into that. Christian Parry up into third place and Ryan Dunn now down into third. And we can see a spinner there at the background. Let's have a look there. That is Sleepy Night 800. That is Craig Lindsay, who has been sent off into the grass. We can see John Higgins trying to make his way back through as well. Let's keep an eye on here as they come around Island Bend here. Well, it is I was expecting a nice quiet calm race number one. Absolutely no such luck whatsoever for that one. The good news is Jamie Lethwaite now is still in the lead. However, that gap is coming down quite significantly because Christian Parry is very much on it. That gap was 2 seconds. It's now down to just over 3/4 of a second now. And Christian Parry bringing Dylan O'Donnell, a name that I would very much expect to see up at the front end of any racing group. That man is incredibly fast. We'll have a look here because Agent Zigzag, that is Cormac Patterson in 4th place. Going over the corner at Druids there. A very, very difficult corner at Druids because it's so difficult to judge with these cars that just let off in terms of any sort of grip or traction whatsoever. You put 2 wheels on the grass and it's just game over. The car will snap round and tell you all about it. Have a look at this though. This is your battle for the lead on lap 3 out of 6 here at Oulton Park as Jamie Lethwaite tries desperately to hold on from Christian Parry. They're coming round through into that long left-hander at Cascades. And Christian Parry jinks out to the left-hand side. It's all going to be over onto Island Bend here. And he's made the move stick. Christian Parry makes the move stick then. Is Jamie Lethwaite going to try and dive up the inside into Shell Oil's corner? He can't. And Christian Parry is starting to already stretch away 7/10 of a second. A fantastic change for the lead there. And Christian Parry making it look so easy. Just as I say that, he goes so wide at Britain's onto the grass and brings that gap all the way back down. So this is not going to be over by any stretch of the imagination because that's bringing Dylan O'Donnell back into the mix as well. And I'm wondering if Christian Parry is starting to feel the pressure because he's obviously been chasing and chasing and chasing, but he's not been used to having pressure from cars behind him. Let's have a look further down then. Ryan Dunn making a move there on your pole position man, James Black. What a fall from grace from James Black there, being rudely taken out by John Higgins there. And I actually do wonder what has happened. John Higgins just up the road there. Just coming through Druids just now, but Ross Dunn, excuse me, in front of your pole sitter James Black, and James Black makes the move stick. That's down at Druids. That's a great move for James Black and takes back that 7th place, but this isn't over yet because Ross Dunn is eyeing him up into Old Hall Corner into turn 1. Thinks better of it. This is good clean driving from these two. And they're going to be coming down into Cascades, and I think what's potentially happening here is James Black is maybe just sizing up the lead that he's got over Ross Dunn right now because Ross is backing away a little bit right now. As we see John Higgins making his way around. I think John Higgins is definitely going to have some sort of time penalty after all that contact in the earlier laps. Back with your race leader though because the lead has changed. And why am I not surprised to see that name at the top of the leaderboard? I might be surprised to see that it's Catchy Ferret, but I am not surprised to see that Dylan O'Donnell has taken the lead with just 2 laps left to go in heat number 1 of the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. We were engrossed in that battle for 7th place, actually, sorry, that we missed the lead change in from second place of Christian Parry. Jamie Lethwaite now down into third place and dropping back all the time. He's going to have to watch out because he's got Cormac Patterson eyeing him up right now. And this battle is developing very, very nicely because look at this. Christian Parry now on the tail of Dylan O'Donnell. They're coming through Druids. In fact, sorry, that was Lodge Corner that were coming around because that's already into lap 5. So we're already into the penultimate lap of our first race here. And Dylan O'Donnell trying to stretch some sort of daylight between him and Christian Parry in second place, but it's not happening because that gap is still just 0.3 of a second. They come round into Cascades and it's a much smoother run for Christian Parry. He's got the speed on the exit of the corner. The toe is there as well now. They're going to come up to Island Bend. What is Christian Parry going to do? Is he going to try and outbrake him into Shell Oil's corner? He thinks about it, but just keeps the inside line. Oh, and they're almost side by side. This is not going to work into Britain's. Christian Parry just has to tuck into the bumper of Dylan O'Donnell. We've got 2 laps in which to sort this. Dylan O'Donnell keeps it nice and tight into the apex at Britain's. It's up through Hilltops and then into Hislops. In just a couple of seconds time, Christian Parry now 0.5 of a second behind, and that is bringing the 2 cars behind him, Jamie Lethwaite, and that is also Cormac Patterson coming up for that battle of the lead as well now. Just 3 seconds splitting your top 4 cars. This is the sort of action we wanted to see from all of the racing last night, and to be frank, we got it from most of the races. But Dylan O'Donnell still leads as he comes over the hill there. Past Druids, over the Warwick Bridge, and then down into Lodge Corner then to start the final lap. This is going to be a sensational battle for the final lap because look at Christian Parry. In fact, let's go on board with Christian Parry right now then as they come up to Old Hall Corner for the final time. And Christian Parry gets a very, very nice run there. They're over through Denton's, this little right-hander, and then it's straight onto the braking zone at Cascades. And look at Christian Parry, gets a much tighter line into the apex there. He's jammed on the boot lid of Dylan O'Donnell here. This is textbook driving 101, defensive lines from Dylan O'Donnell. They're coming round Island Bend. So easy to make a mistake and let the car drift out wide, but this is a fantastic finish to our first race, and there's almost contact there, but Christian Parry knows he needs to keep as close as he can, and any sort of contact is going to slow him down. Your leaders have broken 5 seconds away from 3rd and 4th place, and Christian Parry goes very, very wide and could have jeopardised his main shot that he's going to have on Dylan O'Donnell. Let's go back to our trackside camera then, because the gap now 0.5 of a second. Is Christian Parry going to settle for that because it's the top 3 cars that qualify for this? Of course he's not. That gap has come down again. Dylan O'Donnell outbraked himself going into Hislops there. They're over Knickerbrook, through Clay Hill and under the water tower, and they're going to come up into Druids, and it's going to be now or never then for Christian Parry. Makes the move on the inside. There's contact! Christian Parry goes through a very controversial move. And look at that. That is sportsmanship right there. Tucks right in behind Dylan O'Donnell. And I'd like to say that's sportsmanship. That's what I'm going to call it anyway. It may have been an in-game penalty, but that is fantastic, fantastic stuff. Tried to make the move. Didn't stick. Dylan O'Donnell then takes the win for the first qualifying heat of the Xbox One. Brilliant, brilliant finish there. In second place. Now hang on a second. Right, okay. It has all changed because Dylan O'Donnell has a 1 second time penalty. So your race winner is Christian Parry. Second place is Dylan O'Donnell. And then Jamie Lethwaite in 3rd place. So that is your top 3 qualifiers from our first heat. That is sensational, sensational stuff. A brilliant, brilliant win there for Christian Parry. And second place then for Dylan O'Donnell. And then in 3rd place, as I said, is going to be Jamie Lethwaite. Wow, I don't know about you guys, but that was awesome, awesome stuff. Cannot wait to see what happens in heat number 2 that is coming up just in about 5 minutes time. We'll take a very, very quick break. When we come back, we'll be back with heat number 2.
Baby, I'm calling out, save me, I'm going down, take me to another town where I can rest my bones, I can rest my bones safely. Even when I'm together, I'm miles apart. Feel I'm running forever, get back to the start. I don't know if I'm broken or if I am just not trying. But we're feeling alive even when we are slowly dying. Shine a mirror on me. See my reflection, who am I really supposed to see? Supposed to see. Who am I really supposed to see?
yeah. Let's get it. Oh, yeah.
Qualifying session is loading up at the moment then. Xbox One qualifiers, Heat 2, as you see on your screen just now. We've got Shea Brennan, we've got Chris Wilson, we have got Robbie Pennycrook, we've got Grant Angus, Isaac Morgan, Cameron Conrad, Alex Hawcutt, Paul Wilson, Mark Watson, Stuart Haston, Tom Porter. We do not have Les Taylor in tonight. Les, if you can please get in touch and let us know your correct gamer tag, we will get you in for future events. Ennis Miller, James Petrie and Aidan Wilson. For those guys, well, for all of you actually, you got an email today from the event organisers at the SMRC. Please check it. It's your duty to have a look at the entry list, the grids, find out what times you are starting, and also make sure that your gamer tag is correct. The reason for that is, as you'll know, I go into the system, add you as a friend, make it nice and easy and quick for when we set up the session to then go and put you into your correct game. So that's why it's super important. But qualifying heat number 2 is already underway. We've got about 8.5 minutes left to go in the session. This is qualifying heat 2 for the Xbox One. This is the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. Do you see this and do you think, I quite fancy having a go at that myself? Well, you can do it, and you can do it completely free of charge. All you have to do is have a copy of Project Cars 2 on either PC, Xbox One or PlayStation 4. Head over to smrc.co.uk and then get yourself registered in there, and we can have you along for next week's competition. Well, goodness me, sorry I did go quiet there. I thought I muted the mic, but never mind. Tamsin Green getting in touch to say that Shea Brennan having some sort of technical issue with his steering wheel, which is obviously massively impacted on him. So that's not going to be too great for him. And that is who we see stuck on the exit of pit lane there. So obviously what's happened is the car's come out and the steering wheel's not been working properly, so it could look like we're not going to see Shea in this race. That would be a great shame. So Shea Brennan having technical difficulties there. We've got 1 minute 20 seconds left to go in the session, and it's currently William Black who is leading the qualifying session at the moment. 148.0 from Aiden Wilson. We saw Aiden Wilson absolutely romping away with the Formula Rookie at Knock Hill, and then in third place is Grant Angus. Grant Angus, where do we begin with Grant Angus? Right, let's pause the music and take you back to Mr. Grant Angus. Mr. Grant Angus was storming away with it, absolutely storming away with his heat race last week. Came across a lapped car who was trying to move out of the way of him. The lapped car moved the wrong way. They both went to the same way, and unfortunately collected your race leader, sending him spinning off into the barriers and putting him down into 5th place. This week here at Oulton Park is going to be retribution for Grant Angus. It's going to be all about getting the car moving forward. So as I said, apologies that we'll not be having Innes Miller Superior B 3300. He's having issues with his Wi-Fi, and we've got a connection issue with Cameron Corad as well. So we won't be seeing them in this race. We do have 12 cars, potentially 11 cars, as we see the ghosted car of Shea heading back into the pits there. And Shea is going to be the only one not setting a lap time. So 11 cars we're going to have in this qualifying heat number 2. And it looks like that is going to be it done and dusted, because William Black is in the pits. Aiden Wilson coming round for his final lap. What can Aiden Wilson do now? Coming through Druids. And then it's going to be down to Lodge Corner for the final time. Qualifying is over, and it is William Black who takes pole position from second place of Aiden Wilson, and then in third place is going to be Grant Angus, trying to make amends for last week. And then in fourth place is going to be Haston 98. That is Stuart Haston, who has just completed his final lap there. Ready Player 2107 is Tom Porter, and then it is Paul Wilson in 6th place. 7th place is going to be James Petrie. 8th place is going to go to Chris Wilson, and then in 9th place it is Robbie Pennycook. 10th place for Mark Watson. And then at the back of the grid is Alex Hawcott. So there are still cars, I think, potentially doing their qualifying lap. No, I think that is everyone now. So without further ado then, ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing for our second heat of the night here at Oulton Park. There's confirmation of your 10 qualifiers. 11 qualifiers. So let's head to the grid then. And let's hope Shea either gets that steering wheel problem fixed or removes himself from the session. And he's getting himself going anyway, so let's see what happens here. And leaders down into turn 1 then. It's side by side as Ian Wilson and William Black. That is how you do a turn 1, ladies and gentlemen. Ian Wilson dropping into second place then, just behind, as we see. Yep, Ian Wilson, Shea Brennan just pulls himself off to the side. The car is ghosted, so he won't come into contact with any of the drivers. That is terrible, terrible luck for Shea Brennan. However, back to your race then. And the leaders are off into the sunset right now as we've got contact. Grant Angus again, finding himself into trouble. Drops all the way down into 6th place there. They're into Shell Oil's corner. And he moves up a position there as we see. That is Grizzly Path. That is James Petrie, who was up in that battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th. And gets dropped from that. As we see Stuart Haston making his way around. And no, Grant Angus again comes a cropper into chicane and he's launched into the atmosphere. Wow, that is not what you want to see there. As we see that, let's see who was that. That was Alex Hawcutt that launched Grant Angus like a SpaceX rocket into the moon. Oh, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Your race leaders then. William Black and Aidan Wilson around Druids, and I don't know how they've done it, but on lap 1, 4 seconds of a lead over your 3rd place of Stuart Haston, who is trying to pull away at the moment from Ready Player 2107. That is Tom Porter in 4th place. Makes a bit of a wobble as the car comes round Lodge Corner and then over Dale Lake to start lap number 2. So as I said, it's William Black from Ian Wilson. And great to see Ian Wilson getting given a run for his money right now, because Ian is used to being off into the leads. And that just wasn't to be. 11 cars then remaining on this 2nd lap. And what has happened to Grant Angus? Grant Angus away down into 8th place there as he goes into Cascades, and he is really, really struggling to keep any sort of control of this car. The car comes back onto Cascades and he's almost... I shouldn't laugh. I really shouldn't laugh. But this time it was another silver and yellow Clio that punted him to the moon. This time it was Chris Wilson who was guilty of assault there, as we see Mark Watson struggling at Island Bend coming into Shell Oil's corner. I need to take a breath because I'm feeling all lightheaded from just chatting away so much there. William Black back with your leaders, and it's Aidan Wilson. This is shaping up to be a fantastic little battle here, because we're on lap 2 out of 6. The cars come through Druids for the 2nd time out of 6 laps that we're going to do here for qualifying heat number 2, and the 2 cars so smooth, so precise. Ian Wilson is going to try and go round the outside. Not to be, because we see William Black just holds on to the lead. Lap 3, and it's 1/10 of a second from 1st to 2nd place. Ian Wilson, this is what I love about sim racing, when you get 2 proper racers right now. They're not making any silly moves. They're calculating, they're thinking out loud, they're trying to probe their opponent and find out where the weaknesses are and just keep that pressure on, and that is exactly what Ian Wilson is doing right now. Let's have a look further down then. We'll snap back to that if anything changes as the leaders come into Shell Oil corner just now, and it's still Stuart Haston in 3rd place for that final qualifying spot just now. 4th place is still Tom Porter at the moment, and we'll go further down as well. Everything is ticking over nicely. Grant Angus has managed to get himself back up into 7th place. He does have a lot of pace in that car, he's just not being able to show it because he's either on the grass or throwing it sideways, usually around Cascades. Meanwhile, back with your leaders. Have a look at Ian Wilson. Look at the pressure that he's applying to your race leader. William Black is soaking all of that up like a sponge, and the times are incredible. 1:48.621 and 1:48.098 for your leader and second place. Let's go on board actually with Aiden Wilson as he goes around Druids here. Look at how close the car is. Is he going to try and make a move into your final corner, into Lodge corner? He's around the outside as William Black does a great job. Aiden Wilson has the run though. Tucks inside and they're going to start lap 4, still nose to tail. This is brilliant, brilliant stuff. We switch to the roof cam, you get an idea just how close Aiden Wilson is on William Black there. As they come down into Cascades for lap number 4. This is probably one of the closest and most respectful races that I think I've seen so far with the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. And it's brilliant, brilliant stuff there. Aiden Wilson swinging the car around Island Bend there. They're coming into the Shell Oils corner. And these two have got absolutely nothing between them right now. All of the cars behind them, all of the cars are at least 2 to 3 seconds apart from everyone else. So there's not much action going on further down the field, and it is very, very difficult to take our eyes off this battle right now. Aiden Wilson on the brakes then. Still on to that bumper, goes a little bit wide but still hangs in there. This is an awesome, awesome race. I hope you guys on the stream are enjoying it as much as I am right now, because William Black is taking everything that this young man has got to throw at him right now. And has William Black broken that toe a little bit, because there's now 0.3 of a second, make that 0.4 of a second between these two Clios right now. They come over Lodge corner then to start the penultimate lap of the race. You're watching qualifying heat 2 for the Xbox One. This is part of the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. We've still got another 3 races to come tonight. And this is nail-biting stuff, because this is brewing up very, very nicely. However, we are going to cut away for just a second, because here is the battle. And Ready Player 2107, that's Tom Porter, has taken 3rd place away from Stuart Haston, who now moves down into 4th place there. A series of great laps there from, that was Tom Porter, taking that position and taking the final qualifying spot with just 2 laps left to go here. Back with your race leaders, and it's 0.3 of a second. They're coming up to the chicane at Britain's, and look at that. That's going to be Aiden Wilson around the outside, and Aiden Wilson, it's a push to pass move. I love that. I love what I've just seen there. So what happened was Aiden Wilson tried to make the move on the inside. Ended up, it wasn't happening. William Black wouldn't let him have the spot there. We can see a car off in the background. There was contact. William Black was forced off into the barriers. Aiden Wilson knows that it was his fault, stopped the car, let William Black back into the lead, and the two of them flashing their lights in acknowledgement of what just happened there. Fantastic racing here on lap 5 out of 6. And as a driver, this is what you love. You want to battle against someone. You want it to be fair. You want it to be firm. You want to be rubbing door handles against each other. And these two will be having the time of their lives right now. William Black is going to come across the line then, ladies and gentlemen. We are starting our final lap in qualifying heat number 2 for the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. And what a race we've been treated to so far. Aiden Wilson in 2nd place from William Black. They come into Cascades for the final time, and it's still absolutely nothing between them further behind. And Stuart Haston is taking that place back from Tom Porter in 3rd and 4th place. I don't know where to look right now. We're definitely not wanting to go anywhere. Round Island Bend and into Shell Oils corner. And then it's going to be at the chicane at Britain's. And Stuart Haston has taken that place from Tom Porter. So at the moment then it's William Black from Ian Wilson, and then Stuart Haston is going to be your 1, 2, 3. But we are going to focus for the rest of the lap on this final battle for the lead then. William Black into the chicane at Hislops. Both cars coming around that unscathed round the corner at Knickerbrook. That long right-hander, and it's up Clay Hill. They're on the run down towards Druids Corner, turn number 15. Both cars making that look very, very nice in the gap now. 0.5 of a second. It looks like it's going to be William Black that has it in the bag. I don't think that Ian Wilson is going to have any answers. They're down into Lodge Corner for the final time. Over Deerleap, and it's going to be a win. Qualifying heat number 2 goes to William Black. A sensational race and a wonderful battle with Ian Wilson finishing in second place. Those two are going to be absolutely delighted. Third place at the moment looks like it's going to go to Stuart Haston from Tom Porter. Those two at the end were involved in a cracking battle there. Tom Porter just very, very unlucky to miss out on that third place. We go further back then, and across the line for 5th place is going to be James Petrie. 6th place is going to be for Grant Angus. Goodness knows how he's done that. It was one to forget for Grant Angus. He had all that pace in the Formula Rookie, and he made it look so, so good. It just wasn't to be in the Renault Clios here at Oulton Park. 7th place is going to go to Alex Hawcott, who is a country mile ahead of Chris Wilson in 8th place. There are penalties galore here, so it is not going to be all over until they all go across the line. 9th place at the moment is Robbie Pennycook, and then in 10th place as they go is Mark Watson. Let's have a look as they go across the line, but let's have a little minute to think about that race there. That was brilliant, brilliant stuff from William Black to take the win over Ian Wilson, and things could have been so, so different there. A brilliant win for William Black from Ian Wilson and Stuart Haston. We'll get the results into the computer there, and when they're done, we move on to qualifying heat number 3, and my goodness, I am so, so excited for that. Qualifying, as you can see, is well and truly underway, ladies and gentlemen, for qualifying heat number 3 on the Xbox One. This is the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship, and what a heat 2 we had there. I honestly hope we are treated to more of the same. Just be glad I cut away when I did, because Celtic Racing just absolutely lost it on that corner there. Right, so this is who we can look forward to seeing in Heat 3. Ruben Haig is Hugo Haig, John Glover is DK Wasp, John Higgins Jr. is Jay Higg, Brodie Orr is supposed to be FTN Shock, but here's a spoiler, it's not Brodie Orr. Brodie's had to go away tonight, so it's sad. So we have a super sub in for Brodie Orr tonight, still under FTN Shock. John Proctor is Invested Wall 989. We have got, I believe, is that Scott Bramwell or Stephen Bramwell? I will find out for you just now. It is Stephen Bramwell. Close enough. Is A1 Toon. Adam Ansell is Team Ansell 27. Simon Guest is Compact Air 97. Sam Moody is DK Moody. Christian Bessel is King Chinny 21. That is the best username I have ever seen. King Chinny 21. Dylan Morrison is Steph Curry 7608. Liam Kelso is Celtic Racing, who we saw having a bit of a moment there. Christopher Miller is Chrissy Miller. Stuart Winus, Stu Winus 61. Mark Winus is Inclining Skate 7. There we go then. That is your runners and riders. We have a full grid for the first time on Xbox. Let's move away from that because we don't want to embarrass Celtic Racing there. Qualifying has got just 3 minutes left to go. Tomorrow night we see the PC veterans taking on Oulton Park. So much talk, and we'll see if we can separate the wheat from the chaff tomorrow with the PC. Meanwhile, back with the Xbox One, and your fastest lap at the moment is that man himself, Christian Bezel, King Chinny. Oh my goodness me, who was that going very, very wide and almost wiping him out there. 150.011 is your pole position lap at the moment. Second place is Stu Winus. Third place is going to be Compact Air 97. That is Simon Guest, who is in third place. Fourth place is DK Wasp, that is John Glover. And then Hugo Haig, Ruben Haig is in fifth place. Now, I've just noticed that all of the drivers have a message coming into the eSports channel. Innes Miller wants to know about the yellow triangle. Now, Innes, I noticed that as well. I was curious because obviously I play Project Cars 2, but I don't really spend a lot of time in spectator mode. Now, I thought it was that they'd had a penalty against them, but it turns out, from what I've been reliably informed by the community, that is when they are within about 2 seconds of each other, so it lets the spectator or the director know there is some sort of action going on there, so you can cut to it. And from my own experience, from trying that out, it does tend to be the case. It does tend to mean that they are two cars that are quite close to each other. So where you say an exclamation mark, we'll try and cut the camera to that point. Thank you very much for asking that question. Right, we've only got just about a minute left to go in the session here. 1 minute 30 to be exact. Ruben Haig, who we saw with blistering pace with a Formula Rookie at Knockhill last week, up into pole position, the first of the 149 club. We broke into the 148s yesterday, actually. That moves King Chinny down into second place. That is Christian Bezel. In third place then is... let's have a look. That is Jay Higg. That is John Higgins Jr. Despite me having the usernames sorted by alphabetical order, I'm still struggling to actually function my brain tonight. Stu Winus in fourth place, and then in fifth place it's Simon Guest. In sixth place, running along, that's a slightly unconventional line there, is John Glover. Seventh place is Sam Moody. Eighth place at the moment is Chrissy Miller. Ninth place is Brodie Orr, not Brodie Orr, cough. We have got Mark Winus in 10th place, and then Stephen Bramwell in 11th. 12th place is, at the moment, Liam Kelso, with Adam Ansell in 13th. 14th is Dylan Morrison, and then at the back is John Proctor. So that is your 15 cars, and this is the first time that we have had a full grid of 15 cars for the consoles. So a bit of a record here for them. But there you go, that is qualifying over, and out of nowhere Sam Moody jumps up into pole position and instantly has been usurped by Christian Bezel. So Christian Bezel is in pole position with a 149.477. 4 cars we've got within 2.5 tenths of a second. So within a quarter of a second we've got our top 4 cars. And I don't think this is over just yet, because Chrissy Miller, I think Chrissy Miller has just passed the line. But meanwhile, I think John Higgins Jr. is definitely going to get a lap in here. So we'll see if any of the times change. But certainly a fantastic top 4 you've got there. You've got Christian Bezel from Sam Moody, Ruben Haig, and then Chrissy Miller as well. Let's have a look. As John Higgins Jr. comes round Druids then. He's going to be one of the final cars to be able to improve on his lap time. It all comes down into Lodge Corner here. He's hard on the anchors, pulls the car in very, very tight onto the apex. Lets it drift out just very slightly. This is looking good. This could be a good lap for John Higgins Jr. Goes across the line. What can he do? He doesn't improve. Doesn't manage to move up into that top 4 then. So there you go, your top 4, as I said, is in pole position is Christian Bezel. Second place is Sam Moody. Third place is going to be Ruben Haig. And then in fourth place is going to be Chrissy Miller. 15 cars, guys, at Oulton Park. What could possibly go wrong? Qualifying Heat 3 begins now. Oh, my heart can't even take this. The lights are about to go on the bridge here at Oulton Park. The cars are ready. The drivers are ready. Away we go then. And it is a poor start there. I think there was a bit of hesitation getting off the line, and we've got 3 cars going into Old Hall Corner for the first time, and it looks like they've all made it. And the cars have seemed to pause for just a second, so what we'll do, we'll cut away for just a second just now and figure out what on earth is going on at the moment. We'll take a technical pause and we'll be right back.
Save me, I'm going down. Take me to another town where I can rest my bones. I can rest my bones safely. Even when I'm together, I'm miles apart. Feel I'm running forever, get back to the start. I don't know if I'm broken or if I am just not trying. But we're feeling alive even when we are slowly dying. Shine a mirror on me. See my reflection, who am I really supposed to see? Maybe the door again, but I keep coming back. I keep coming back to pretend. Even when I'm together, I'm miles apart. Feel I'm running forever, get back to the start. I don't know if I'm broken or if I am just not trying. But we're feeling alive even when we are slowly dying. Shine a mirror on me. See my reflection, who am I really supposed to see?
So, ladies and gentlemen, I very, very much appreciate your patience. As you can tell, that's obviously not what we expected to happen there. So what we've had to do is we've had to restart the session. What we'll do is we'll get the cars back in and we'll do a very quick 5-minute qualifying session. It's the only fair way we can actually allow them to race again. Do a quick 5-minute session and then we'll get back into the race. So obviously it is going to delay things quite significantly. We'll get the server back up and running and we should have the next qualifying session / heat number 3 back on within the next 5 minutes, guys. So bear with us and we'll be right back. So if you've just joined us, guys, you haven't missed much. We are in the process of restarting heat number 3. We do have a technical pause going on at the moment. Drivers just making their way into the session just now. We will be doing a 5-minute qualifying session to repeat on that, and then after that we'll be going into the race for heat 3. I do apologise for the delay in this. This does mean that further heats are going to be delayed by around about 30 minutes because of this, but as soon as we can get racing again, obviously it does take a little while for the guys to come back in. They might still be in the middle of what they think is a race just now. We'll get them back in and we'll get qualifying underway, and we'll get heat number 3 back on the go. And after all that, my stress levels can come down, thankfully. We have got qualifying just starting up now. We have got a 5-minute qualifying session. It's about to take place over on heat number 3. Again, very, very sorry for the delay in that. But we are getting ourselves back into the server. And the car's going to do a very quick 5-minute qualifying session, and then we will go racing. Again, this has kicked things back. We're facing a delay of around about half an hour now. So we will get qualifying heats underway for heat number 4 and 5. Bear with us, and we will get back on the track. It just sets it up very, very nicely for the race ahead. Let's head out onto track. And the cars are already making their way out. So let's have a look then, and let's get back into qualifying then for heat number 3. And this just adds to the tension, doesn't it? So 13 out of the 15 cars making their way back out just now. And I'm trying to have a look and see who was not there, because we did have 14 cars in the lobby. And now we do have only the 13, but it is what it is. We have to keep going, and the show must go on. I'm going to go and jump in chat is what I'm going to go and do just now, because I don't really get much of a chance to come and chat with you guys. So qualifying 3.5 minutes left to go. Let's go and jump over to the live stream. I'll come and chat to you guys for a little bit actually while we're watching qualifying together. I'll mute my voice for obvious reasons. But very good evening, Jake Lancaster. That's a bit harsh. I'm sure it's not DK Smoothy's fault that the server crashed there. It may have been, but you know. Jade, a very good evening. We can see that she is watching George just now, who has taken over from Brody, and George apparently coming to some sort of strife. So the problem is obviously, I think the guys were racing on from what they saw, but obviously we had no way to adjudicate it or monitor the results. So the only fair way that we could redo it was to start the session back over again there. So yeah, had to be done. And it's obviously very frustrating, because some of the guys are thinking, oh, I've gone and won this, but we can't see that, and we just watched that happen together as A1 Toon decided, yeah, that wasn't the best, was it? Never mind. The problem is that was in no way intentional whatsoever. You saw him lose control of the car, and the back end of these Renault Clios is so easy to kick out around this circuit, and Stephen Bramwell just very, very unfortunate that he wasn't able to hold on to that. Good evening, Jade. George is happy, or he was. I've just heard him shout at the TV. Well, that's not so good, really, is it? Oh, you got to love it. You got to love it. Good evening, guys. I hope you're enjoying the stream. Thank you, as always, for all the kind comments that you put. And it is my pleasure to be doing this. It's great fun. It's great fun to be watching you guys taking part and see how seriously a lot of you guys and girls are taking this spring / in brackets fun championship. So we're still waiting to see some times coming in. And I think it's going to be difficult, because obviously you're only going to get 1 or 2 sessions in, or 1 or 2 laps in, before actually making this count. So we can see here, this is Simon Guest that we are on board with. We've got first times coming in, so thank goodness we do actually have times coming in, and that is Christian Bezel. Delighted to see that he is still on the pace 149, 132, and they're going to get one final lap in through here. We are on qualifying heat number 3. Again, we are running about half an hour behind schedule because of a technical delay. You guys know the score. It just keeps more of the racing for later on. So let's see what everyone is up to then. It is, as I said, Christian Bizel up in first place. Second place is Chrissy Miller. Third place, Ruben Haig, again showing the pace that he had last time. George Orr in fourth place. And in fifth place is John Glover. Sixth place is going to be, that's Mark Wyness, isn't it? Who is going very, very wide at the Shell Oils corner. And it's not ideal. It's not the best in terms of having maybe 1 or 2 laps to do qualifying, but we have to get back on track here and get the cars underway for their race for qualifying heat number 3. I'm delighted to see that we are joined by our 14th driver, so it means we do have 14 out of the 15 drivers in the pit lane ready to start for the race then. And just watching the cars making their way through. Ruben Haig, I think, is still on a flying lap here. He comes through Druid under the bridge, and he's going to come up to Lodge Corner for the final time. Does Ruben Haig have anything else in the bucket? Up over Daresleep, comes across line. What can Ruben Haig do? Goes and puts in 149.842. Ruben Haig jumps up in the second place, and that sends Chrissy Miller down into third place then. Well, that's an awesome lap there for Ruben Haig. So I think everyone has completed their laps now. And just, yep, there we go. And who was that? That was DK Smoody. Sam Moody gets his own back for being blamed in chat for crashing the server by taking third place. As John Glover moves up into 5th place, and that puts George Orr all the way down into 6th place then. So all the laps have been completed then. We have got our qualifying order, and in pole position is King Chinny 21, Christian Bizel from Ruben Haig, and then in 3rd place it is Sam Moody. Right, let's get underway then, because we are super eager to see how this one pans out. The cars are ready to go. I'm ready to go. Let's get race number 3 underway. Much better. The cars are looking much clearer on the track. And away we go then. As the cars make their way down into turn 1, and it's a much better exit for Ruben Haig. They're side by side as they go through Old Hall Corner for the first time. And let's have a look as Ruben Haig is in the lead, ahead of Sam Moody as they come through Cascades for the first time. Sam Moody going a little bit wide, and we've got a car spinning. That is Mark Wyness, who's lost it on the exit of Cascades there. So easy to do. All you have to do is get a couple of wheels onto the grass there, and we see that is Dylan Morrison, who is now plumb last at the back of the field after having a big moment on the entrance to Cascades, and it just finishing there as well. Your leader then, currently out in front, is Christian Bizel from Ruben Haig. They're all making their way through the chicane at Britain's, and it's looking very tidy so far. We've got a cracking 3-car battle going on, and we've got 2 cars going off into the background there. That was, let's have a look who that was that went off there. Can't quite see just now, but yeah, that looked like the old textbook move of no quarter given, no quarter asked. Sam Moody in 4th place, just behind John Glover, and John Glover has now got a little bit of sunshine in front of him. Chrissy Miller up into 5th place there, as we see George Orr up into 6th. That's the same place where he started as Compact Air 97. That is Simon Guest is in 7th place. So all the cars reasonably well spread out on this opening lap here. And I think that was that Adam Ansel that was caught up in that? I think it was. And Mark Winus as well, that were caught up in that earlier collision. I want to use a polite word there, but I didn't really have one. Anyway, lap number 2. And the field is well and truly spread out here. We don't really have any super close battles apart from these two here. And George sent sideways, and I think that might have been Simon Guest coming into contact with him at the apex of Cascades there. I was wanting to say Clearways, but that's a completely different circuit, David. Calm yourself. Right, your leader still out by a country mile. Christian Bizel, 1.5 seconds ahead of Ruben Haig. It's then DK Wasp, John Glover in 3rd place, Sam Moody in 4th, and then Chrissy Miller in 5th with, that is Compact Tier 97, that's Simon Guest in 6th place. Trying to harass Chrissy into giving up that 5th place, but I don't think that's going to happen, I've got to be honest. And I'm wondering if Simon Guest has got some penalties there, because he's starting to slow down quite significantly. So that is your top 6, and they're all spread out very wide there. And look at that, Ruben Haig takes the lead. It's a slow down penalty for Christian Bizel that hands the lead over, but look at the battle behind as well. Sam Moody in a huge fight with John Glover right now. Sam Moody backs off and thinks better of it, but he's going to have the toll coming up over Deer Leap as they go in towards lap number 3. Sam Moody makes a look up the inside at Old Hall Corner, turn number 1, and he's made it happen. They're side by side. They're going to be coming down into Cascades, and that is the position done. Sam Moody moves into 3rd place, and John Glover goes down into 4th. Where is John Glover going? I think he's having a few connection issues right now, because on my screen and your screen he went all the way out into Cascades there and then magically appeared back on track. That is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you use Wi-Fi. Your connection goes all over the place. Chrissy Miller into 4th place, and that gap now starting to close together from your race leader Ruben Haig, who is a second ahead of 2nd place there, Christian Bizel. But that gap is coming down as they go through the chicane there at Britain's. And your race leader Ruben Haig going to come under some intense pressure very shortly. Lock up of the brakes there. And goes very wide in the two of them now, duking it out. Here we go. Ruben Haig and Christian Bizel locked into battle here. Let's have a ride on board with Christian Bizel. Lap number 3 out of 6. Over the water tower here, down onto the brakes into Druids Corner, under the bridge, and then it is going to be down into Lodge Corner, the final turn of this tight twisty track here at Ilton. He moves to the side. Christian Bizel on the outside of Lodge. That's never going to work. He's going to try and get a better cutback, but that was a wonderful defensive drive there from Ruben Haig. They're going to go across the line to start lap number 4. Here we go then, and it feels like we've done about 10 laps of this race in particular already. It's very difficult to take my eyes off this leading group, because they are nose to tail right now, and it could change any second, as we see Chrissy Miller moving down into 6th place. Then it's happened because Simon Guest has taken that 5th place away, and he has got a lot of pace in that car. Back up to your leader then, Ruben Haig still out in front, and that looks to be a gap of around about 0.3 of a second. And look at how tight to the corner Christian Bizel is. And one man coming back into the mix, Sam Moody, 2.5 seconds behind your race leader, but he is around about a second, 1.2 seconds faster than your race leader. Back on board then with Christian Bazell in second place. He's hunting, he's stalking Ruben Haig in the lead. Just 0.2 of a second separating these guys. And this is amazing stuff. This is where concentration and discipline comes so important at Oulton, because these cars are very, very twitchy. And a beautiful move there. Absolutely incredible pace there by Christian Bazell right round the inside. And that was fantastic pace to mug Ruben Haig of first place there. Christian Bazell moves up into the lead, but as we come to the start of the penultimate lap there, and Ruben Haig is not going to let that one lie. Let's go on board with Ruben Haig and see what he can do as they come down into Old Hall Corner for the 5th time, as we see Christian Bazell running quite wide, and I wonder if he's going to have a slow down penalty. He does, he moves to the side, and that allows Ruben Haig to go round the outside at Cascade. Doesn't manage to make it work. They're going to come across Island Bend here, and Ruben Haig has the tow right now. This is brilliant onboard footage from Ruben Haig. Has to back out slightly, and that is going to allow Christian Bazell a little bit of a gap there. Christian Bazell locks up the brakes, throws in the little Renault Clio sideways at Shell Oil Corner, and this is shaping up to be an amazing second to last lap into the chicane at Britain's. Look at the pace that Christian Bazell has around that corner there, and stretching away right now. Let's go back to our trackside camera then and have a look at Sam Moody, who is now 4 seconds behind your race leader, who is starting to stretch away. 4th place is currently John Glover. 5th place is going to be Simon Guest. Is going to be George Orr in 6th at the moment. Chrissy Miller under intense pressure now from J Higgo 1. That's John Higgins Jr. And Chrissy Miller now could find himself being mugged down into 8th place as well, as we see Mark Wyness managing to recover into 9th place. 10th place at the moment is, let's have a look there, that is Stephen Bramwell. And then in 11th place is Stu Wyness. It's going to be Adam Ansell in 12th place. And then 13th place at the moment is Liam Kelso. And then it is Dylan Morrison who is in 14th place. Now, I was stuttering and stumbling there because my eyes were getting drawn to the gap between Sam Moody, who's lost it on the exit of Old Hall Corner. Sam Moody was in 3rd place, has lost it, and has went all the way down into 6th place there. Absolute shenanigans going on the final lap as well. That hands the final qualifying position over to John Glover. So at the moment it's Christian Bazell from Ruben Haig, and then in 3rd place, that final qualifying position for Sunday's final, is John Glover. Dramatic scenes at the virtual recreation of Oulton Park then. It's so easy to do on lap 1, never mind the last lap. But it's not over yet, is it, between Ruben Haig and your race leader Christian Bazell here. Let's watch them as they come over the hill here. They're going to be coming up over the water tower down into Druids Corner. That gap now 0.4 of a second. Ruben Haig is starting to get a little bit closer to your race leader. It's now or never for Ruben Haig. They're through Druids successfully, and that gap is now 0.3 of a second. Ruben Haig is on a charge here for 2nd place. They're coming down into Lodge Corner. This is the final turn. I think it's going to be a win for Christian Bazell, but Ruben Haig is going to get the draft there. A brilliant win for Christian Bazell. 2nd place going to Ruben Haig. And then in 3rd place, it's a brilliant qualification run for John Glover. A very unlikely qualification because Sam Moody, who finishes further down the order there, was in 3rd place up until that last lap there, where he made a mistake on the exit of Old Hall Corner. Wow, George Orr finishing in 4th place because your 5th place man of Simon Guest had a time penalty applied to him. Sam Moody finishes in 6th place. Chrissy Miller side by side with 8th place there, but Chrissy Miller takes 7th place from John Higgins Jr. in 8th place. 9th place is going to be Mark Wyness. 10th place is going to be Stephen Bramwell. 11th place is going to go to Stuart Wyness. 12th place is going to go to Adam Ansell, and then it's Liam Kelso in 13th, and that is Dylan Morrison in 14th. Right, congratulations to our top 3 then. We'll go and get the next race set up. Qualifying heat number 4 is going to start in around about 5 minutes.
Right.
So we have cars back out on track then, ladies and gentlemen, and in the interest of catching up on time, we are going to restrict qualifying sessions to 5 minutes so that we're not here until about 10 o'clock at night. We have got 12 cars in this session. We will have a little look at who we have got on just now. Heat number 4 for the Xbox One qualifiers then is Mark Cuthbert, John Duncan, Kieran Evans, Michael Argent, Conrad Murray, Scott Armstrong. We've got Dan Stewart, Mickey Doyle, Gary Robertson, Callum Ross, Thomas O'Connor, Tam Hamill, Ross Cuthbert. We have got Jonathan Atkinson and Jay Finlay. So just a reminder, we are running half an hour behind schedule, so for those of you that are in Heat 5, you will get your invites out around about 8:30 tonight. Qualifying session for Heat number 4 is underway, and as I said, I'm going to come and join you guys in chat.
Baby, I'm calling out, save me, I'm going down, take me to another town where I can rest my bones, I can rest my bones safely. Even when I'm together, I'm miles apart. Feel I'm running forever, get back to the start. I don't know if I'm broken or if I am just not trying. But we're feeling alive even when we are slowly dying. Shine a mirror on me. See my reflection, who am I really supposed to see?
Dave, don't know if you can hear me or not, but it's JD here. I got disconnected. I wonder if it was time to invite me back in. Right, okay. Oh well, never mind. They did put a message around today saying that if you get disconnected, then that's just too bad.
Yeah, I think they've just been really busy, haven't they? So I'm not.
Yeah. Oh well, shit happens.
When they said on the feed they're about half an hour behind, so I don't know if there's still a chance for them to notice, but I think I've just seen now on the TV it started, so I think it might be all over.
I think we can hear us, so I think we better stop.
Alright, okay, bye.
Alright, bye.
19 seconds left in your penultimate qualifying session of the evening here for the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. Thank you very much for your patience this evening. We did have a couple of technical issues earlier on, but we carry on with the racing. This is going to be an interesting one. I'll give you a little bit of backstory on this one, but guys and girls. So, we have in here, we've got Tam Hamill, and one of the other drivers in here as well. We had, was it Callum Ross? It was. Now these two had a bit of a coming together at Knock Hill for the Formula Rookies, so there is a little bit of history between these two, and they are very, very close to each other on the grid, albeit 8 seconds and 8 positions, but I've got a feeling that he will be making his way up through here just now. So the time is finished for qualifying. As I said, to give you an update, because we're running so late, we did want to give all the cars, all the drivers 10 minutes, but we've had to reduce that now to 5 minutes, just in an attempt to get everyone through here. Still enough for 2 flying laps here at Ilton, and it puts the pressure on massively. The moment then, it is Tam Hamill from, that is JP Atkinson, that is Jonathan Atkinson in second place. We'll kill the music because we are ready to go racing here. The final cars making their way through, and then that looks like Gary Robertson is sitting there in third place as well. 149.617 for your pole sitter, 150.653 for Gary Robertson. Third place is at the moment Mickey Doyle, and I love that username, Hangry Jock. That is what you describe me, ladies and gentlemen, at 8 o'clock in the morning when I've not had my breakfast. I am indeed a hangry jock. Thomas O'Connor is in 5th place. He's managed to sneak into 5th place there. And it looks like John Duncan isn't joining us. He's got some connection issues there. But that is your top 10. And we are ready to go. We've got about 13 cars joining us for race number 4 this evening. Tam Hamill then leads from Jonathan Atkinson. The cars on the grid ready to go. It's a great start for Tam Hamill, and it's a terrible start there for Mickey Doyle back in row 2 there in 4th place. So Tam Hamill streaks away into the lead then, as the cars behind him make their way round as well. We've got contact in the background. I think that might have been Conrad Murray there that was involved in that. In fact, no, he manages to avoid all that, Conrad, around the outside, and he's been spun. Keeps that going. That was beautiful. That is how you don't lose a lot of time at Cascades, ladies and gentlemen. So great recovery there from Conrad Murray. Gets spun down into last place, but recovers and is still within touching distance of that main group. Jonathan Atkinson has jumped up into the lead. What has happened to your race leader? Tam Hamill has been put down into 2nd place there, only 2 tenths behind. Gets a great run out of the chicane, and Tam Hamill is going to be challenging for the lead the next couple of corners there. They're going to be coming up to the chicane at Hislops. Tam Hamill thinks better of it. So Jonathan Atkinson from Tam Hamill, and then in 3rd place is Hangry Scott. Mickey Doyle in 3rd place there. So a great recovery. He had a poor start but managed to get himself up into 3rd place. Let's have a look further down the order as well, as the cars making their way around. Mark Cuthbert up into 7th place as well. And yeah, this is awesome racing that we've got. Very clean so far. I am touching my wooden computer desk here because I don't want to jinx anything with a commentator's curse so early into the race. But it does look like Jonathan Atkinson starting to stretch away from Tam Hamill right now, and Tam Hamill now falling into the clutches of Mickey Doyle in 3rd place there. So lap 2 on qualifying heat number 4 for the Xbox One. And this is unfolding very interestingly because there's battles all over the track. We look for this battle for 4th place now. This is between Michael Argent and Kieran Evans for 4th and 5th place. They've just come through Cascades now, and it does look like Kieran Evans has got the faster Clio underneath him. It was a beautiful exit there from Cascades, had a much tighter line and was able to keep more speed. Comes round Island Bend. I have never seen anybody undertake on Island Bend before. They're still side by side at Shell Oil's corner, but that was the move of the race so far from Kieran Evans. He just had the confidence to throw it in to Island Bend there. That was sensational stuff there. Lap 2 out of 6 then, and Kieran Evans moves himself up to 4th place, just 4 seconds behind the 3rd place man of Mickey Doyle, who loses it at the chicane there. Managed to get back on, but that puts him right into the clutches there of Kieran Evans. Kieran Evans could find himself very quickly fighting for that final qualification position, and we're only 2 laps in. Meanwhile, your race leader still Jonathan Atkinson from Tam Hamill. They've come through Druids and then under the bridge beside the water tower and then into Lodge Corner to start lap number 3, but back with your battle for 3rd place. And this is like a hand grenade just waiting to go off with these two, as we see Mickey Doyle round Lodge Corner, followed ominously by Kieran Evans, STR unknown. The gap now just 0.3 of a second with them. And Kieran Evans has got a very, very good grip of this Oulton Park and that fantastic little Renault Clio Cup car. They're going to be side by side as they come up into Cascades. What is Kieran Evans going to be able to do? You can see there's a tiny little bit of contact there, not too much though. And he certainly doesn't gain an advantage from it. And the two of them live to tell the tale another day. But it just shows the pace that Kieran Evans has got in that Renault Clio Cup car. But look at the battle here now. What has happened to Jonathan Atkinson? Because he's been caught up by Tam Hamill. And the gap now just down to 0.4 of a second. They go through the chicane there at Britain's and up through Hilltop. And it really is a very, very picturesque circuit here. Very fast and free-flowing. And a wonderful, wonderful circuit. Perfectly tailored to these small Renault Clio Cup cars. 0.2 of a second now, the gap between Jonathan Atkinson and Tam Hamill. Tam Hamill takes the lead, and I can't help thinking that Jonathan Atkinson has got a slow down penalty of some sort. JP Atkinson 18, Jonathan Atkinson now 1.7 seconds behind your race leader. And Tam Hamill is absolutely away as we come down into Druids Corner. In fact, it's Lodge Corner. I tell a lie there. Very difficult to tell from the camera angles here. But Tam Hamill now almost 2 seconds into the lead on lap 4. And they are 10 seconds behind everyone else as we see Hungry Jock. That is Mickey Doyle desperately trying to fight for that 3rd place, that final qualifying place from Kieran Evans. Let's go on board with Kieran Evans then as he hunts down your 3rd place man of Mickey Doyle. And he's done it on the exit of turn 1 of Old Hall Corner, and that puts Mickey Doyle into the rear view mirror as they come through Cascades. A brilliant, brilliant move there, and some fast pace from Kieran Evans moves him into that final qualifying spot with just 2 laps left to go here at Oulton Park for qualifying heat number 4 of the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. This has been a very, very cool affair. Some battles all over through the field, but it's not been anywhere near as hectic. It's not been anywhere near as manic. It's been a lot closer, I would have said, in some respects. But to have a look at this, Mickey Doyle is not done for that 3rd place. He wants it back, and he wants it back with a vengeance. Kieran Evans has got the lights on, but it is Mickey Doyle who was charging there and has to let off the gas there. I wonder if there's a bit of a slowdown penalty. Track limits in this game, Project Cars 2, are notoriously strict. You just put a couple of wheels over the edge of the grass and you are going to have to slow down and quite possibly give up a place. This is the battle for 5th and 6th place right now as we see Michael Argent fighting it out with Gary Robertson for 5th and 6th place. And Michael Argent on the inside going in towards Druids there. But a much faster line there from Gary Robertson, and Gary Robertson's hit. There's been contact there. Gary Robertson sent spearing off into the barriers there. That is going to be a difficult one to call. I think that was just a racing incident because Gary Robertson tried to make the move on the inside of Druids. The car was there. The car couldn't move anywhere, and I think the two of them into contact with each other, and these Clios proving that 2 into 1 will not go at all. Having a look then at 5th place here, as Michael Argent is trying to defend from Thomas O'Connor. Now, Thomas O'Connor, we haven't really spoken much because Thomas had a bit of a poor start, dropped all the way down into 8th or 9th place now, and has brought himself back up into 6th place. But this is a big moment there as I'm lost for words, because somehow Thomas O'Connor managed to hold it on through Island Bend. This is what I was saying, it's so easy to do, but he overcooks it at the Shell Oils corner and loses control straight into the barrier and collects Mark Cuthbert for his troubles as well. So Thomas O'Connor, yeah, that definitely was the commentator's curse, wasn't it? Because I was saying about how well he was doing, and he goes and bins it at the Shell Oils corner there. So I'm very sorry for that. Meanwhile, look at back at the leader. What's going on here? Jonathan Atkinson now back onto the tail of Tam Hamill. The gap now just 0.2 of a second. I wonder if Tam Hamill either had a moment or had a slowdown penalty. Either way, Tam Hamill is going to come across the line then to start the final lap of qualifying heat number 4 here. And Jonathan Atkinson, you've got to say, he's looking very, very menacing as they come into Old Hall Corner for the final time. What can Jonathan do? Let's actually ride on board with 2nd place as they come through Cascades just now. I think Tam Hamill is starting to stretch away that gap a little bit more now. 0.4 of a second it is in front. They're going to come up to Island Bend just now. And I don't know if Jonathan's going to have anything for him just now. He's going to outbrake him for sure into Shell Oils corner here. Tam Hamill going a little bit wide, and Jonathan Atkinson trying to hold on to the inside faster line. And it all comes down to Britain's. How they get through this chicane is going to be vitally important for this race. And Jonathan Atkinson, that was lovely. So smooth from Jonathan Atkinson through the chicane at Britain's there. Looking very, very nice. As we see Kieran Evans up into 3rd place, still just half a second ahead of Mickey Doyle there. That battle's still going on, but we're watching this one just now because this is the battle for the lead. They're going to be coming up the hill and then going through towards Druid's Corner for the final time. Let's have a little look for that battle for 3rd then. As we see Kieran Evans desperately trying to hold on from Mickey Doyle, but your race leader coming through Druids then. And look at Jonathan Atkinson. He has got the run right now. He has got the bit between his teeth and trying to make anything happen. Lodge Corner is going to be his final opportunity. It's not going to happen because Tam Hamill gets a great run out there. And race number 4 for qualifying is going to go to Tam Hamill. Jonathan Atkinson in the 2nd place there. And it's going to be Kieran Evans who stretches out a 3-second gap there in 3rd place from Mickey Doyle. It could have been so much closer for Mickey Doyle. Mickey Doyle coming out of the Lodge Corner there and comes across the line. 4th place then, as I said, for Mickey Doyle. 5th place is going to be Gary Robertson. And then down in 6th place is Michael Argent with a 2-second gap over 7th place of Mark Cuthbert. 8th place is going to go the way of Thomas O'Connor with that big moment on the exit of Cascades. And then Callum Ross not able to make any sort of dent in this race whatsoever, finishing in 9th place. We can see Conrad Murray down in 10th there, just coming round the lap to finish off. And then at the back we can see as well, we've got Pygmy Hippos, that is Ross Cuthbert. And then we also have Scott Armstrong as well. So your final drivers coming across the line just now, it's going to be Callum Ross from Conrad Murray. And then in 11th place is going to be Ross Cuthbert and Scott Armstrong in 12th place. So there we go, guys. What a fantastic race 4 we had there. And we'll get the results updated and we'll be back with you with race number 5. The drivers are loading in then for race number 5, and we are almost all set to go. Hope you guys are excited, because I know I certainly am. As you can see there is who we can see. Dominic Wheatley, Jamie Roger, Neil Robertson, Chris Milford, Andrew Gilman, Callum Reid, Owen Phillips, Ross Noble, Joss Warren, Cameron Evans, Robert McGregor, Joe Puller, Aaron Perrott, Glenn Watts and Scott Anderson. That is the lineup of who we have got on as well. And let's have a little look then. So the cars making their way out onto track, and we'll kill the music and we will head over to Virtual Oulton Park then. 15 cars making their way through, and because we have had a technical withdrawal from one of the drivers, I have taken it upon myself to get little Shay Brennan back in. Shay didn't have any internet issues, he did have a wheel issue earlier on. And I kind of owe it to him after last week. So Shay Brennan is making a guest appearance in this final round. Here we go then. 5 minutes of qualifying, which means they've got about a minute and a half to do one lap to get qualifying done. And then we are into our final race of the evening. As I say, we're running about half an hour late because of some technical issues on race number 3. But in the meantime, as I said, I think it's the final time tonight. I'm going to pop into chat and come and have a little chat with you guys. you're a lovely bunch, aren't you? It's all very, very prim and proper over there. I'm loving it. We are also on YouTube as well, so if you do fancy checking us out on there, very, very much appreciated. There we go. You can tell it was over onto YouTube, so we'll give them a little shout out as well. William Brock is in there. Tam Hamill is out there as well. Magic Mike, Michael Argent. So wait, hang on. All the drivers, all the cool drivers seem to be hanging out over on YouTube. Ian Wilson's in there as well, so bizarre. Right. Let's have a look. We'll pause the music and we will get back to qualifying then, because we have got qualifying has finished for your final heat of the night then, and it is at the moment, and I say at the moment because there are some very, very fast cars out there just now. That is going to be Robert McGregor, who is currently on pole position from Ross Noble. No, sorry, not Ross Noble. That is Dominic Wheatley, Rookie Whisper. We had a bit of a disagreement, me and Dom, earlier on, because he put his wrong gamer tag down on the entry form. So Dom Wheatley then jumps into second place. No improvements as of yet. There's no difference in the track temperature. So interestingly, the time's still down in the high 150s. But, yep, it's still going to be Ross Noble then that jumps up to take pole position, 157.04. You've got Joe Puller up into second place. Then you have Owain Phillips in third place. Preston Evans is in fourth place. That is, of course, Cameron Evans. And then in fifth place, you've got Andrew Gilman in there as well. So the cars have pretty much finished their qualifying. Sixth place is going to be Jamie Roger. Seventh place is going to be Robert McGregor, who was looking so fast there. And then it's Dominic Wheatley down in eighth place. And ninth place is going to be Joss Warren. And then in 10th place, who have we got? We have got Neil Robertson. Guys and girls, we have 15 cars on the grid. Let's do this. It's a capacity grid for the second time tonight here on the Xbox One qualifiers. This is qualifying heat number 5, the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. And we go! A terrible, terrible start there for second place. And that was, I think that was Joe Puller, who absolutely dropped like a stone, managed to get back into third place. That leaves Ross Noble to get back on. There we go. Joe Puller just absolutely holds the foot on the throttle on the exit of Old Hall Corner there, and they're all looking like they've got round. Who is that going down into clearways? A very, very wrong way indeed. Well, that was a huge, huge moment there. Oh my goodness me! Andrew Gilman has just absolutely murdered Callum Reid. Callum, we barely knew ye. That's some questionable driving standards there from Andrew Gilman. Actually, I recognise this kind of driving. I am supposed to be further up the field and I don't need to be down here. There's some very, very angry driving going on right now from Andrew Gilman. Oh my goodness me, you can see it, he keeps the foot in, and right now Andrew Gilman is Andrew Gilman's own worst enemy. The rage has subsided, and I can't really comment on that too much because I've been on iRacing quite a lot, and that does tend to happen quite often. Right, let's have a look as the cars make their way down through the back half of the circuit. And Tam Hamill for that email. Yeah, absolutely. I will absolutely do that at the end of this race. If you can hang on, I will do that. In fact, I'll do that just now for you, Tam. That's a very, very nice thing. Tam Hamill just basically getting in touch with us after winning that race there, wanting to get a mention for his wife's mum, who sadly and suddenly passed away last night, Libby Truesdale. Yeah, you're more than welcome for that, Tam. Our collective thoughts and best wishes are with you and your wife, and we're very sorry for that. Qualifying heat number 5 is underway. Lap number 2 of 6. Ross Noble still in the lead, just from second place of Owain Phillips, putting him under all sorts of pressure. The gap just 0.5 of a second, half a second separating your top two. And then Joe Puller has got quite a nice gap over fourth place there, because fourth place is War Dog Soj. That's Joss Warren, who is involved in an almighty battle right now with the man behind him. That is Cameron Evans. They're side by side coming down the back straight here, and there's going to be a chicane coming up. So who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Cameron Evans tries to turn in. That's never going to work. Happens to stick though, and Joss Warren loses out. That was a very interesting move there. Right, back with your leader then. Ross Noble coming down into Druids there. Very, very fast entry, and holds on to it because he has got Owain Phillips all over the back end. Again, let's jump on board with Owain Phillips there. They're coming down into Lodge Corner. Owain gets a very, very nice aggressive entry into that corner, and they're going to come up the hill there, up over Deer Lake, and then across the start-finish line to start lap number 3 of 6 here for your final qualifying heat of the Xbox One. Coming Old Hall Corner, and it looks like that's going to be a very, very nice corner there for Owain Phillips. He's just taking little bits of time out here, there and everywhere. And what can they do? I think that's lost him a little bit of time there. It's going to be all about Island Bend. But look at that, look at the exit there from Owain Phillips. And Ross Noble has lost the lead. Now hang on, because Ross Noble dropped back significantly, and I wonder if there's been a little bit of a slowdown penalty there. Ross Noble onto the back of Owain Phillips then, and lap number 3. And this is actually bringing in Joe Puller out of absolutely nowhere. Joe Puller was 1.2 seconds behind this little battle here, and now he's potentially going to be challenging for the lead. Brilliant, brilliant stuff, and it just shows you how quickly that these battles can change in the blink of an eye. Further down, you've got a brilliant 3-car battle going on there for Scott Anderson and Joss Warren involved in that as well. Joss Warren having a look to the inside. There's surely going to be contact here. I just feel it. That's a super, super late move on the brakes there. And Joss Warren gets turned sideways, but it's not. It's going to be Scott Anderson who comes out the worst of that. And that means that Robert McGregor is now on the tail of Joss Warren as well here. That was a questionable move there from Joss Warren. And Scott Anderson is going to be all kinds of angry right now. 2 cars coming through Druids just now. In fact, look at Scott Anderson in the background, because that now also brings in Jamie Roger into the battle here as well. Oh, and there's contact again! 3 cars involved at the end of Lodge Corner there. And that is going to be Joss Warren. Some are going to say that is karma right there for the incident. And would you believe it, Scott Anderson now is back up into 6th place there. The unlucky man out of all of that has to be now, who was it that dropped all the way back there? Let's have a look. It wasn't Sebastian. Never mind, we'll get back with that in a minute. But your new 5th place man then is Jamie Roger from Scott Anderson. And somehow you've got Andrew Gilman, who's moved up into 7th place as well. So it's all turning on its head here on lap number 4 out of 6. Meanwhile, back to the leaders, and this is getting incredibly close. Look at Joe Puller just lurking in the background there. Your leader is still Owain Phillips from Ross Noble. Ross Noble now just 0.3 of a second behind your leader. This is just got all the ingredients of a classic finish here at the Renault Clios at Oulton Park. The lap times are consistent from all 3 drivers right now, but the 2 of them dropping Joe Puller a little bit. He's now 1.5 seconds behind this little battle here. What can Owain Phillips do to break that gap from Ross Noble behind him? I don't know if he's got anything in the tank, but meanwhile we've got another 3-car battle going on between Joss Warren Who was that behind Joss Warren? That was Andrew Gilman. And behind Andrew Gilman is Dominic Wheatley. Now, Dominic Wheatley, we were expecting to be further up the table by now, but he's just been caught in all sorts of traffic. Lap 5 out of 6 then, the penultimate lap, as the lead 2 cars go down into Cascades. And Owain Phillips now stretching that gap out to half a second. They're going to come up to Island Bend. Very, very fast corner here. And it's so easy to send the car just a little bit wide. Get 2 wheels onto the grass and it is game over, as we've said all night. And power sliding that car round is Owain Phillips in the lead with just 1 lap to go after this. Back to that battle then for 6th, 7th and 8th place, and your 6th, 7th and 8th place cars are coming out of Cascades then, and that is going to be Dominic Wheatley challenging, surely not on the inside of Island Bend. It's not going to happen, but he's going to tuck in nicely for Shell Oil's corner, and 4th and 5th place now coming up to the chicane here, and I think that is a little bit of a gap now for Jamie Roger, who's looking quite comfortable in 4th place there. It's as you were for your leading trio then, as we still have Owain Phillips now 6/10 of a second, and a bit of a wobble there on the entrance to Druids. That allows Ross Noble to catch right up to the back of him. They're side by side. They're coming up to Lodge Corner for the penultimate time. Ross Noble trying to go around the outside. They're side by side. And it doesn't happen this time round for Ross Noble. What is going to happen on this final lap here? And I wonder if Owain Phillips has got some sort of a time penalty on against him. He's got a red mark there, and we'll see just in a second. But Ross Noble going a little bit wide, and I think he's going to have to slow down. That is going to bring him into the clutches of Joe Puller, and he does slow down. They're down into Cascades for the final time of asking. You're watching lap number 6 of qualifying heat number 5, and this is a thrilling climax to the night. Ross Noble just 0.3 of a second behind your race leader, and he is absolutely on it. The two of them coming into Shell Oil's corner for the final time, as Owain Phillips gets a better run slightly out of the corner there. They're coming up to the chicane at Britain's. This is where it's all lost. Beautiful work there from Owain Phillips. Pulls out another 0.3 of a second there, and that could be good night Vienna for Ross Noble in 2nd place there. That drops now Joe Pillar, who's catching back up. That's now just 1.2 seconds behind them. Meanwhile, back in 3rd and 4th place, the gap's now starting to stretch out quite considerably. But have a look at the battle here for Dominic Wheatley up into 7th place. He's just ahead of 7th place of Andrew Gilman. This is a brilliant end to the evening. This is exactly what we like to see here on the sim racing end of things, as your race leader is now 1 second clear. Owain Phillips breaking away, comes down into Lodge Corner for the final time, down through Deer Leap. Ross Noble is going to finish in 2nd place. It's going to be Joe Puller in 3rd. Let's see if there's any penalties coming across the line. And indeed there is. You're absolutely kidding me. Wow. Joe Puller is your race winner. Both Ross Noble and Owain Phillips getting significant time penalties of 15 seconds added onto them at the end there. That is huge. And that actually puts Ross Noble ahead of Owain Phillips. I have no idea how that has all panned out, unless Owain Phillips has got a 16-second penalty added onto him. But it's Joe Puller in 1st, Ross Noble in 2nd, and then Owain Phillips in 3rd place. We'll very quickly update the scoreboard with that one, but I'm absolutely stunned at how that all panned out there. honestly cannot believe that final heat of the night going to Joe Puller. He was looking menacing, but I would never, ever in a month of Sundays said that he was going to take the race win from Owain Phillips and from Ross Noble. But there you go. That's your 1, 2, 3. Joe Puller, Ross Noble, Owain Phillips. Let's go further back down the grid then. And in 4th place, a brilliant 4th place for Jamie Roger, ahead of Scott Anderson, and a very, very close look is going to be given to Scott Anderson on your final race of the night. 5th place, yeah, let's have a look there. Now, it's saying there that they've only got 2 and 3 second penalties, but that's not what the timing screen was showing earlier on, so yeah, I'm a little bit confused by that one. But anyway, back to the timing screens then, and in 6th place it is... let's have a look there. That is Joe Warren that finishes in 6th place. 7th place is going to go to Andrew Gilman. 8th place is going to go to Dom Wheatley. 9th place is going to go to Glenn Watts. 10th place goes to Cameron Evans. 11th place will be Callum Reid. 12th place for Shea Brennan. And 13th place for Chris Milford. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Slightly later than planned, but we got there eventually. What a race we had to finish things off here for heat number 5. Here is a reminder then of your qualifiers for Sunday's final from tonight's race. From heat 1, we had Christian Parry, Dylan O'Donnell and Jamie Lethwaite. On heat number 2, we had William Black, we had Aidan Wilson and we had Stuart Haston. Heat 3 was Christian Bezel, Ruben Haig and John Glover. Heat 4 was Jonathan Atkinson, Tam Hamill and Kieran Evans. Heat 5 is Joe Puller, Ross Noble and Owain Phillips. That is going to be your 15 finalists for Sunday. Check us out then. Tomorrow night, guys, we've got qualifying heats for the PC. We saw some of the most intense, close and highly respectful racing that we had all week last week on the PCs. Will we see more of the same tomorrow at Oulton Park? It's going to be very, very difficult with these tricky little Renault Clio Cup cars. But from myself, here, David Christie, presenting the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. I'll see you tomorrow and join us on Sunday for the final. Have a safe night, guys, and we'll see you very, very soon.